our two lucky students who are back here for Operation Ganga. They've flown back on special flights yesterday from Bucharest to Delhi, and also with them the relief father of Jhanavi. So with me is Jhanavi and Ashutosh, both just back from Ukraine. They've just back yesterday. So welcome back to India. It's really wonderful to see you both safe. And Mr. Vinod Tiwari, who is the father of Jhanavi. So first, Jhanavi, let me begin with you. Do you believe that just 24 hours ago you were at a border stranded like the students were? And when you look at what's happened in the last 24 hours, since war broke out?
Yeah, so like I can say we were the lucky ones because we took the right decision at the right time. It was like group of students in which even Ashutosh Bhaiya was there. So like we decided that we are going to take a bus and go to the Romanian border, and there was post border. There is no help of the embassy. It is the students who are going there all by their own, and after you cross the border, there is some help from the embassy, which is obviously not enough, but at least they are helping us once you cross the border. But before that, there is no help from the embassy. That's what it is.
Ashutosh, tell us, when you first heard, how did you first know that war had broken out? Many are asking that why didn't the Indian students leave earlier? Why did you all wait and now get stuck in this situation?
I will tell about this. Actually, our embassy was giving us advisories around 1 week before, and they were telling our universities to go online, but our universities were stiff on their decisions to remain offline. A day before it was online for us, and we were starting to evacuate the cities, but at the same night it was online, the war broke out. I was sleeping at my flat and I received a phone call from a friend to tell me just go out and see, fighter jets are flying over the sky and you will feel the war has started. So I just went out and I saw, I can hear the voice of the fighter jets, and soon I went and hurried to the supermarkets to store the food because we didn't have any to eat. So at that time I could see, when I reached out, I could see a blast happening at the airport, which I could not see from my eyes, but in the sky it was whole black cloud. And that time I realized, yeah, the war has started, because my city was the safest as told by Ukrainian officials to us.
No, and you know, I'm sure that you all must have thought you were alone, but I'm sure for everyone in India, and Mr. Tiwari, I've seen the parents work just awake day and night to see how they can get their children back. What was these last 4 days, 5 days like for you? And how did you feel when your daughter finally walked off that flight?
It was really a nightmare for us. And the last 4 nights we could not sleep at all. We were just tracking them. We were trying, because being a girl child, it was more difficult for us. And we were tried here and there, everywhere, whatever we are listening, we were trying to contact them, even senior students, even whosoever is there or whosoever we know, we were trying to contact. We were trying embassy, we were trying to contact embassy, we were trying to contact Ministry of External Affairs, posting on this Twitter, everything we were doing. However, it was really a very tough time. But you see, one thing more I will like to add here. In any country, in these situations, this is bound to happen. In disaster condition, in something happen, calamity condition, in those conditions also it happens. So it is bound to be. Yes, definitely for us it was a nightmare.
No, absolutely. It's a war. So, and in that sense, for India to get in when the Ukrainian airspace is closed and Air India flight turned back mid-air, it's extremely difficult. But tell me, Jhanavi, just from the point of view of a student, and we saw that we've seen so many girls and boys posting videos telling us what it's like. What was it like for you when you got to the border? What was it like just staying together? It's lucky that there's so many Indian students, maybe community, but what was it like for you? What was the most difficult part for you these last 4 days?
I can say crossing the border was the most difficult, and plus we were lucky because when we came to the border there was not that much rush there, but as soon as and plus we were girls, so we were given priority over there, so it wasn't that difficult for us being girls than for the boys. They had actually the tough time over there, and then as soon as you get cross that border for the immigration process, there was a big line of about 4 to 5 hours where you have to be in that line. So that was the second difficult part.
And what about food?
No food. There was no food in the line, obviously, and there are still many students. Like you can, if we are getting the news that there are many students there who are stuck at the border, and like they are not getting food. They're living in cold. They're like their mobile phones are like their mobile phones are not switched off, so that their parents are not able to contact them.
In fact, I just want to play two of those videos, because there's one video which is really, you can see these Indian students and they're wearing very light jackets and it's snowing. So they're out there in the snow. If we can just play that video, and then a video of border guards actually kicking some students. So Ashutosh, if you could describe to us what happened. This may be a different border, because of course you came through Bucharest. But what was it like, the weather, and how did the border guards treat you?
The border guards were like really harsh on us. They were telling us the strongest one will be the last one to leave, because we want men here to fight, and they were not letting us cross. They were giving shout outs to the women and the children to leave the border very easily. But being a man, that day it felt like it was a crime in the world to be a man. And we were 10 to 15 of friends together, and we were just praying that howsoever we can cross, because it was so windy and so cold. Even our feet starts to freeze, because even the ground got like very cold. And this snowing happened in the other part of the border, that was near the Polish side. But it was much more worse than snowing where we were. We were at the Romanian border, and it was much more worse for us to survive.
What kept you going? What were you thinking of? Did you ever think that I'm not going to make it through? What kept you going?
No, I just thought that we were not going to make it, because the way they were shouting at us and they were abusing us, we felt like, no, it was the last stage for us. After that, we don't know who will come to pick us up, because what I did was I left all the girls behind in the bus, and me and my friend went 8 kilometers by walk to the border, because buses were not going after that. So we went there, we can see no embassy official, no Indian there, and we were really disheartened to see that. So I started to make calls, so no one was picking up my call, no embassy official or so. So I asked some of my seniors, what can I do? So they asked us just go and do what everyone else is doing. So we went back 8 kilometers again. We got these guys with us. Then we just went into the line. We could see they are making girls go very easily to cross the border. So we told all the girls, just leave your stuffs behind and just please cross, because we don't know whether we will cross, but you can cross very easily.
That's wonderful that all of us stayed together. So
yeah, that was the one thing which we did very well.
Mr. Tiwari, did you feel nice when you heard that, or at least that you felt that they were all together at this time of difficulty?
Yes, that was the strength. On that only I could able to take a decision to send my daughter along with the students. That was a great inspiration for me. That was a great strength for me. That 52 children. Even I contacted him and he told, "Don't worry, uncle, I will take care of her. I will personally take care of. She is my sister. I will take care of her." Because I was worried. The night time, they are traveling in a remote area, 9 hours.
We left by 4:30, I guess.
Yeah, 4:30 we left.
We left by 4:30, and it was about from Ivanov, it is 9 hours 45 minutes precisely. The border is there, so it was a huge.
So Jhanavi, what kept you going? Were you praying? Were you thinking of your parents? What kept you going?
Obviously we just wanted to get back home.
Fear of death, maybe.
Yeah, fear of death maybe.
Yeah. That was the reason.
Because I have one of my friend because on 24th in the morning I got a call from one of my friends. Her friend, she lives in Kharkiv. She studies in Kharkiv, and we got a call from her in the morning, and she's like, I can see there is bombs, explosions happening just in front of me. People are running, and she was crying, and she was like, I don't know what should I do.
No, and the Indian government's now sending 4 ministers. The Prime Minister is having another meeting as we speak. He said he'll bring back every student. But, he's also said, and we've seen this, that so many people are saying that why are students going to Ukraine to study? Why didn't you come back? Yeah. It's your fault. What do you say when you hear all this?
I would like to ask them to check the number of candidates which sit in NEET every year. It's around 17 lakhs, and they keep on increasing every year. And the seats they have in India, especially government seats, they are around 20-25,000. Rest all are paid seats which crosses 1 crore or more. And being a middle class family person, we cannot afford this much. And these countries provide us medical education at a very low cost. So that's the reason we go out. Because also We also don't like to stay away from our parents because we have food problems.
So it's not out of choice, it's out of compulsion. It's not that this thing. Jhanavi, finally, as we end, is it true that there was racism? Did you feel that there was racism at the border? Because otherwise, apparently, the Ukrainians are very warm, friendly people.
No, who told you? No, it's not true.
Like some of them are, but like there is racism like everywhere. So yeah, but at the border there was.
So finally, as I said, that we've seen that there are 3 meetings the last 24 hours on Ukraine, 4 ministers now going. What would you finally say to the Prime Minister and the government now that you're back home safely?
Like I would request them to like speed up the evacuation process, because obviously children are scared, and obviously like even we had that question in our mind. Okay, we are safe for now. Like there was not any bombard. Like there were, except from 1 or 2, there was not much like havoc in our city where we lived. But obviously there was this question in our mind, like till when are we safe? So like children are definitely scared, and that's the reason why they are getting to the border, just because if they feel that the border is much safer than the city they are living in.
Right, and they'd get out. Ashutosh, what would you say to the Prime Minister tonight and all the people who work to get you back?
PM to just make some shelters in Ukrainian border rather than making them in Romanian, because a person coming in shock or trauma, they first need to meet some government official there who can make them cross the Ukrainian border. Romanian border or Polish border is not an issue. I would like to make a point here. The problem is crossing Ukrainian border here, because we need to cross 2 countries border before entering Romania.
Right.
So I would like to add this, that please make some like kiosk there for students coming, and just help them support.
And thankful for coming home. You were this.
We are really thankful to our government to help us evacuate from this difficult situation. Looking at other government, we can say our government is the best at this time to help us out of this situation.
Because I think Chinese and Pakistani students are still stuck there.
They are stuck. They are requesting our Indian government to help them out. So I think they are doing a great job if other nationals are also asking them to help them out.
Well, we are really happy to see both of you back. We want to see every Indian student back. And Mr. Tiwari, I think really what you feel today, I can imagine what every parent is going through. And we hope to see all these students back home safely. Thank you so much for joining us. And